is Christy, and today I'm going to be answering some of your questions about my university experience that you guys previously submitted in my other video. And yeah, so I have my laptop here and we're just gonna go through the questions, but at the same time I'm going to be doing a very simple makeup look. I don't usually wear makeup, especially because of quarantine, but I figured that today I can kind of do a little more than usual. So I'm just gonna quickly put my hair up, and I look like an egg right now, but it will be okay. I've been thinking about getting maybe curtain bangs, so there's something to frame my face kind of, because right now I just look weird. Anyways, we're gonna do this just so it's easier for the makeup. And so yeah, so I won't really be talking about my products. I'm just gonna go straight into the questions. First question is, hey Christy, could you link your sweater from your UBC course planning tips and get ready with me Q&A video? I couldn't find it on the UBC bookstore. So I'll try my best and look for it online, but I don't really think it will be there. Because actually the stuff at UBC store, the bookstore, it actually kind of changes quite frequently. And also, if you see that my nails are different, I only managed to do one side and then my pinky fell off as well, and I gave up on the other. For the first week of class, Ryan and I actually went back to UBC because we had to pick up a textbook for Ryan. So I was browsing through the sweaters and stuff and I couldn't even really find it, but I'll try my best and see if there's something similar, and I'll link it in the description. And the funny thing about that sweater is that I was actually on campus one day and I felt very cold, and I was not prepared because it was winter and I didn't wear enough. So the only way I could have got an extra layer was if I went and purchased something, which that day I really regretted, but it turned out to be my favorite hoodie, I guess, or sweater from UBC. Alright, next questions. What has been your favorite part about UBC and what has been the hardest part about university? Okay, so before I move on, I just quickly did my skincare, and now I'm gonna go in with my all-time favorite foundation, which is kind of gross now because it's been too long, but this is the Ordinary foundation, and it's really hard for me to find stuff that matches my skin tone. I actually have to get the more yellowy tinted stuff, or I have to get very light layered so I can kind of add on as I go, and this has been one of my favorite foundations for the longest time. Maybe we'll start with my favorite part, but let's see, my favorite part of UBC, this is my go-to answer, but I'm kind of rethinking it, but my go-to answer used to be just the student body, because honestly I didn't have the best experience with university in terms of education or academic wise, because even now I don't think of myself as a very academic person. I like to be hands-on. I want to be doing something I guess for other people, so I found the student body and involvement opportunities to be very fun. And that sounds like a boring answer, but that's just me. Yeah, I just really enjoyed being able to get involved with clubs and doing student council. I was in arts undergraduate society and doing different kind of roles, and that was very fun. But I think in general, I think UBC it has just been a time for me to step out of my comfort zone. I think in high school I was still very shy, and especially towards the end, that's when I started to get a little more comfortable with just being myself. But I was really able to slowly explore who I was through university, and I'm not saying that it's all because of UBC. It's definitely my own it was just my own goal to explore myself in university, and so I joined a lot of things. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and yeah, and I think if it's a specific memory, I think my favorite thing has definitely been being able to go on exchange, especially going to Korea. That was like my dream destination to go on exchange, and luckily my boyfriend was able to come with me, so that was a really good experience. And then I think the hardest thing for university for me is definitely just I tend to keep everything to myself, so I think a lot of the struggles that I went through them alone, or the only few people that I would share them with is like Ryan or like my very close friends. So that was the hard part, and the hard part was definitely figuring out why I'm there and like what I'm doing there, just because I kind of like, I don't want to say that I went into university without really thinking about it, but I kind of did in a way, just because it's very easy for us to just go because it's something that our parents want or something that everyone does in society. So I think I kind of fell into that trap, and I didn't research enough before entering, and that was a very hard transition for me. And I don't think I really figured out like why I'm there until second and third year, which is when I actually chose my major. And that actually kind of ties into the next question, which was what has been the highlight of your undergrad. And so to sum it up, I would definitely think the student body involvements and going on exchange. Move on to my brows, and this is my go-to product. I don't use anything else, but it is the NYX micro brow pencils, and I've just been getting this product like back to back. Every time it runs out, I just get it again. But yeah, next question is, where do you hang out on campus? So it really depends. It depends where my classes are, but if you're like in arts like me, and if hopefully school we get to go back to campus and everything is safe by next year, I usually just mostly stay at Buchanan. And so during my last few years, I've been basically camping outside of Buchanan A. Not outside, but at the bottom of Buchanan A there is a little cafe, and I've just been staying there most of the time. I also am a huge fan of their paninis, so if I ever need something to eat, I usually just grab a panini at the Buchanan A cafe, like the cushiony area. But I really like sitting there because you can look out and like see if anyone you know walks by, or it's just, I just like it. I don't know, that's just where I kind of stayed within the last few years. But yeah, so other than that, Ryan really likes staying at the Starbucks on top of the bookstore. I like that as well, but that's more of like my chill lounge area, and if I want to do get work done, I would sit at Buchanan A, just because it's not as comfortable to work in the Starbucks there, because the chairs and everything, it's not best for studying. So if I'd have to study, I go to Buchanan A. If not, I chill at either the Nest, second floor seating looking out into the like main like street, or I sit at the Starbucks above the bookstore. How did you like your exchange? I loved it. It was really fun. I have I think only one video about my experience there, but I actually vlogged a lot during my exchange in Korea, and if you guys want to see, please let me know. I have a lot of footage that I just haven't had the time to go through, and it feels weird to upload something that's not recent, and especially during COVID, like I don't want people thinking that I'm traveling. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, just like leave a comment or message me on Instagram, because I don't know if you guys want to see my Korean like footage. Exchange was very fun and very meaningful for me, just because I got to go with my boyfriend, and we also went to Japan, and I just can't wait to go back because he's actually learning Japanese right now, and I've taken Korean for 3 years, so I just can't wait to be back. But it was super fun because I was very lucky that I met amazing people there as well, and we still like catch up once in a while now, and they're mostly in the States, so it's kind of cool because I have friends in LA now and like other places. But yeah, exchange was very fun. I highly recommend it. It was a really nice break from university too. But the only thing that I have to say is that I wish I went during the term and not during the summer. The summer was not long enough. I wish I got to experience more what it's like to be an actual exchange student, just because going in the summer, I feel like I felt more like a tourist most of the time because like summer classes aren't as intensive as like regular classes, and it's like I'm sure like most of us, we just finished our homework during the day and then we would go out and explore Korea. So it didn't feel as like I was really a student. I was just kind of taking classes in between exploring, but I would still definitely recommend going on exchange. But also right now I just want to say I'm using the Innisfree blur powder, and I don't use a lot because my skin is already dry, but I like using it on the cheeks just so the blush and everything blends out nicely. But next question is dorm worth it? So you might not know because I don't really think I said this on my YouTube, but on my Instagram I used to put stories up because I was in dorm, so I used to share a lot of that and it was really fun. I would definitely recommend the experience, but I know that it is very expensive, especially at UBC. And for someone who lives in Vancouver, not a lot of people go and experience the dorm. Like for me, it's just kind of dumb, but when I was applying for university, my mom basically told me kind of that like it's either you or not either, but it's like because they didn't really want me to go out too far, like to leave Canada basically. So the thing was like, oh, if you stay, like if you get to UBC and you decide to stay, then you can go do dorm. And so I took that, I guess. Definitely worth it if you are comfortable with spending the money because it is a lot of money, but it does help, I guess, with just getting used to campus. But the bad thing is that if you do live in Vancouver and you do dorm, the year afterwards it's gonna be so hard adjusting to going back home, just because in dorm you're like by yourself and you don't have to like deal with family members. But yeah, it was really fun and I would probably do it again if I went back to first year, but I would tell myself to try and be more involved, because in first year, although I was in dorm, I kind of just stayed in my room and I was being very introverted, which is me, but I was just being extra introverted in first year. Next question is just for general favorite spots on campus, and I forgot to mention this earlier because I mentioned my study spots, but another place that I love being at is actually oh my god, I forgot the name. Great Dane Cafe. That is my favorite cafe on campus besides Blue Chip, but Blue Chip I go for the cookies, so I go for a study break. But if I want drinks, I really like Great Dane. And if you want to study there, they have like two kind of locations, one that's more for like picking up your coffee, and then if you walk past that building to the back, there's actually a like seated bakery cafe area. So yeah, I really like that. And I really love their lemon bog, which is what I always get there. The workers are also always like super nice and they're super friendly, which is why I like that. Alright, the last question for today is if you have any regrets for your university experience. And before that, I'm just gonna go in with my lip balm, I guess. I usually don't like to think of such like sad things, but I guess if I have to say, I think I kind of regret not being so like out there or like comfortable with myself, especially in the beginning of my university experience. Like it took me a while to really like be out there and like be doing things, but at the same time, so like first year, second year I was pretty involved, but at the same time when I got to like third year I was kind of burned out and I just stopped doing everything and I stopped being involved. So yeah, I think if anything, like I wish I spent more time and energy into the things that I did and like meeting people, because I think UBC is such, or university in general, is such a great opportunity to meet people. So I kind of didn't take full advantage of that, which is what I regret. But now I'm gonna go in with highlighter, and I'm using my really dirty Tarteist Pro Glow Tarte palette, and I just use Strobe. As you can tell, I barely use this, and all the products I use today will be linked in my description, also on the screen in this video. I don't have like the best lighting to do makeup, and I feel like this actually looks I don't even know if it looks good. I'm so not used to doing makeup. It just feels weird. Lastly, I'm just gonna go back with the e.l.f. palette and get the contouring shade. I'm just gonna do a little bit above my eye. I am not an expert in makeup. I don't really think I'm good at all, to be honest. There are so many people out there that are better than me, which is why I tend not to do makeup routines, just because like I prefer not to do too much, I guess. Last but not least, eyeliner. I don't know if this is even. Alright, so that is it for the video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for submitting your questions. And yeah, hopefully I can do more Q&As in the future. Follow my Instagram because that's usually where I announce if I do them, so make sure you follow my Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!